Alright guys, I'm back with my third machinima post, and I'm going to kind of give you a little bit on rushing. Um, I've played this game quite a bit at this point. I am a legit 10th Prestige, and I've watched a good bit of videos as well on YouTube, and I've watched some people on Machinima Respawn talk about rushing, and I noticed one major mistake on every rusher I've ever watched videos or um, basically everything they talk about. Well, not everything they talk about. The one fatal mistake I noticed in a lot of people's rushing games, which would actually throw a curveball in their consistency, because being a good rusher requires a couple things. You need good reflex. You pretty much need good reflex, and you need well, you don't really need tactical layout is preferred, and you basically gotta be aware where the enemy team is and be able to read the enemy team well. One of my viewers of my channel basically described my playing style as a game of chess. I pick out where the enemies are and I basically counter that, and that is rushing in a nutshell. But the but back to the one major mistake I see a lot of people do on their actual games when they're using a rushing kit, which would knock out their consistency, is their kill streaks. Most of them are running extremely large kill streaks, like Harrier, Pavlo, Chopper Gunner. I was when I rush, I do not try for the 80 and 3 games, the 90 and 4 games, because when you're rushing, you're a lot more you're closer to the enemy a lot more often, and you generally 50% of the time will not have the environment advantage, which the environment advantage would be like standing behind a luggage cart or waiting around for him to come around a corner. You can still get that advantage while rushing, like you see right here with the TAR 21. I'm sitting behind the car in the sandbag, and I'm picking them off as they come out of their spawn. Um, but what I generally do when I'm going to be a more aggressive player, because rushing doesn't really have a set standard on it. Most people consider, oh, you got to be pushing forward the entire time. You could do it that way, but I consider rushing basically pushing the enemy spawn in an area where they can actually fight back at you, so you're going to see a lot more action. Like where I'm sitting at right now is generally is a pretty good spot to defend when they're spawn tracked back here on C, which is this team deathmatch. But I'm using C as a reference point. Mainly because when they come through, they're going to look right here first, and they're going to see you, and you can shoot back at them. Another good spot for rushing is to take the roof route instead of sit on the roof like most people will do and pick them off as they come down the alleyway behind the truck. You can run up, jump into the windowsill, and get up on that little porch area above the C flag or C flag area and shoot them as they come through the doors. It's another real popular route for a rush. But rushing, in a sense, is basically try to get them near their spawn and set up around it so the game is more exciting for you and yourself. And why do I pick the lower kill streaks? The kill streaks I'm running in these next two games, I put 2 games in here to kind of hammer home the point of consistency. This will get you consistent 3 KD. That's what we're looking for. The scores aren't the greatest. I think one's like 36 and 7. The other one's like 44 and 11 or 13. Some number like that. They're both 3 KDs easily. And I think this one's a 5 KD with the TAR 21. Is I use UAV. UAV helps me determine where the team is, so I don't have to actually look at my user map as much and try to read the team. Reading the team is an important factor, but that's more for if you're going for the nuke and bigger kill streaks like the AC-130. UAV, which it helps me read the team more, it helps me determine where they are, and you also can actually see where they're flowing into, and you can basically cut them off. And it also helps your team. If you get a UAV out consistently, your team, who might not have the skills or knowledge you have, will be able to easily see where the enemies are, and this will help you in the long run. Like I put UAVs out all game, and we still barely won this game. Maybe if I didn't put UAVs out, we probably wouldn't have won this game. I use care package for my second one. You can switch this out for counter UAV if you like. But care package I find is, it's a 4 kill streaks, real easy to get, especially after you just get your UAV. And you generally can get either, like you seen me earlier, get a chopper gunner, Pablo, stealth bomber, just a bunch of random kill streaks. And every time you call these in, they actually count towards your prestige kill streak, so you're getting extra points for that as well. And you also could get, ammo and things of that nature, especially if you're using marathon or bling, whatever you want to rush with. I find care package very good because you should look at kill streaks about what they are. They're rewards for getting 4 kill streaks. Care package is easily one of the better kill streaks on that mannerism because its reward value is so great. 4 kills, you can roll a chopper gunner and then get 30 kills. So that's 4 kills you got could reward you with 30 more. Next thing you know, 37-0. But I look at it like that, and then the next one's Predator Missile. You might want to switch it out for Sentry Gun. I just find it, kind of asinine to run basically, care package and Sentry Gun back to back because they're both little bird dropped off, and it takes a while. And you got to sit around a while. But basically, I look at it like this: if I get the Predator Missile, it's a 5 KD, and everything there adds on to my KD for free. Like that's an extra +1 I wouldn't have got normally. So that last rampage, that basically got me 6 kills, 1 death, and it's positive. So every time I spawn, I actually try to go for 3 kills. If I don't get my UAV, I have failed that spawn. And that's a good way to judge yourself to keep you on track and keep you level-headed. If you get 3 kills every time you spawn, you're going to have a 3K at the end of the game. Every time you get a kill streak, that helps you maintain the 3 KD. So let's say you get the UAV on the first spawn, you die, you're 3-1. Say you go the next time, you get your Predator Missile, and that would put you basically 8-2, which is a 4 KD. Predator Missile 4 people. Care package gets you a stealth bomber. You get 3 more people, and then you got a UAV. That puts you back up to like 6 KD, and that's how you basically should run it, because if you're doing a good job keeping the pressure on them with your rushing kit, you're not going to amass an AC-130 unless you get really lucky, because you want to basically keep pushing forward and keep them annoyed, and annoyed is the key factor. A lot of people take out the human factor in this game, and the human factor is basically, the mental stability the person is. If you've ever noticed, if a person gets frustrated or you yourself get frustrated with the game, you start to do a lot worse. You start rushing out windows, like when you're spawn trapped on high rise, for example. Like we got them spawn trapped on A, people start rushing out of windows. They'll start just blindly rushing down the hallway, knowing they're going to get tripled and quad. They'll make more mistakes, and so that's where things like counter UAV, scrambler, just bother them. And rushers, that is the rusher's job for the team. His job is to basically just tick the other team off. Always be on top of them. Always keep them, annoyed in some way or point. And that's why I prefer to run the smaller kill streaks when I'm rushing. It's also why I run Scrambler when I'm rushing. I want to talk about Scrambler. A lot of people consider this perk a horrible perk. I know people have heard me preach it on my channel that Scrambler is not a horrible perk. It's actually my preferred rushing perk. Reason being, if you're doing a good job and you're in the enemy spawn, you take their radar away from them completely. I also call it the enemy lure perk, because if you've ever played like Final Fantasy 7 or 8 or any of that thing, they usually have a magic called enemy lure, which basically drags enemies to you. Because when people see that, they go, I go on high alert and start looking for you. Yes, they do start looking for you, but you want them to look for you. That way, when they come looking for you, you can have the environment advantage to your side, and you can basically mow them down and get your 3, 4, and 5 kill streak real easy. Even if they do end up killing you afterwards, like you can see my sentry gun sitting there just tearing them up. Even if they do get you after, the fourth kill, you still succeeded in what you're doing. You took away the radar for a good 30 seconds. You annoyed them, and when you're basically occupying them, they can't go for things like flags. They can't really take advantage of their kill streaks they have, because you constantly killing them, occupying, and taking their radar away from them. And this is basically the heart of a good rusher, just being annoying. You want to be as annoying as possible, and you want to be like that fly that just keeps tapping the air. You don't have to be dropping 8 bombs with AC-130 to be the most annoying player in the game. As you can see right here. If you follow these tactics, I guarantee consistent 2 to 3 kill games. And in the end, that's what everybody wants. And everybody wants to, win. They want to be consistent. They want to have fun. A lot of people have fun with rushing. And this is just the basic demeanor of how I do it. Yes, you can get the big games with this. I've done it. I mean, if you look on my channel, I have like mini Uzi games, UMP games, just big old scores. It's your boy Winx Redemption, signing out.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter. There you'll find the latest updates from our premier directors and the Machinima Respawn team.